Since I'm currently happy using any excuse to play in my Shizen rough watercolor journal, I decided to perform a simple mixing exercise with my newest Sennelier colors. This is not intended as a color guide, but perhaps it will inspire you to experiment with the colors you have. What I'm using here are the Pretty Blue Indanthrone PB60, the Bright and Cherry Lemon Yellow PY3, and Permanent Alizarin Crimson Deep. Now, I need to acknowledge that the last one looks different to any alizarin I've seen before, and that's because the pigment is PR206 rather than, say, PR264, which is what M. Graham uses in their permanent alizarin crimson. So the one I'm working with is decidedly warmer. The chemical name for PR206 is quinacridone maroon, and I understand it's used for Daniel Smith's quinacridone burnt scarlet and Winsor & Newton's brown madder, neither of which I have, but now I'm curious about what they're like. At the time, I completely forgot to add layers to these swatches, but stick around until the end because you'll see it in a pickup segment, thanks to a smart viewer, but more on that later. On to the mixing portion. After choosing the design, I realized I didn't want to deal with math and measuring, which is ironic considering I recently purchased a new ruler. So I drew a series of circles to shape the sections. It might look overly complicated, but it was actually quite simple and didn't strain my brain. Initially, I was just going to do a simple circular shape like many others do, but I like to shake things up once in a while. You know, wave my arms from the back of the room while yelling, "Look at me!" Otherwise, you just won't stand out amongst the mass of art tubers doing similar things. I suspect a lot of us watercolor creators are doing this because we all thought, I can do better swatches in my sleep. I say we because there's no way I'm the only one who thought that, only to fall face down in her first video. Thanks a lot, 20-year-old paper. I've heard that many people prefer cool reds and warm blues when mixing their purples, and it makes sense. That combination usually results in lovely, vibrant purples. And to remember that, I remind myself that warm red is close to yellow, and yellow is purple's neutralizer. So I did not expect great results when combining this particular red with this blue. And sure enough, the mixes were quite muted, which is fine with me because I'm a dull sort of gal, and that did not come out right. But to return to a previous topic, it may not be obvious, but one of the challenges of creating video content is coming up with titles. You can't just throw anything up there because algorithms or something. Personally, I strive for to the point words aimed at my target audience, such as watercolor, swatching, or a brand name like Daniel Smith. But I'm considering incorporating more clickbaity phrases like worst ever, or you won't believe what happened next, or stop doing these 5 things now. It's all about balance, right? Like a cup of coffee that's both smooth and robust. Thus, a possible future title might be They Claimed These Paints Were Safe. Then this happened. Collectoritis. It's real. Well, I don't know if it's officially acknowledged as a condition, but there are enough people out there admitting to painting less while acquiring more. And that makes me think that addiction to art supplies is not as rare as one might think. I'm as susceptible as the next person, so it's a good thing I've got this channel to justify my drawer of watercolors. Okay, that's an exaggeration, since I wouldn't have half of these supplies if it weren't for Inkworks. There I was, dinking around with Holbein half pans and a bee journal when I was railroaded, I mean encouraged to make videos, and bam! How about Daniel Smith? You want Daniel Smith? I heard Daniel Smith is good. I'm getting you some Daniel Smith. So, in my case, it's a combination of 3 factors, really. A touch of the hoarding instinct, The "I can't create content without the tools" excuse, and generous, well meaning enablers. So I made a mistake and forgot to include some layering in this arting session. And I thought, sure, this brand is known for its glazing ability, but it'll be fine. No one will care. Until a viewer commented on the previous video about looking forward to seeing some Sennelier glazing action. So, after responsible Irene duked it out with lazy Irene, I went back into the studio and took additional footage so you all could have some glazing, as well as a comparison of some alizarin's. Yeah, I wanted to bring it because I'm still haunted by my worst painting from last summer, the one that was a huge disappointment and not even completed. So, no half measures this time. And you can thank Jenny French for that. I'm happy to share this Sennelier arting experience, and even happier that it's not titled Watercolor Storytime. They asked for layers, she gave them Shizen. Until next time, maintain a humble mien, but also toot your own horn, because algorithms, and stay artsy, my friends.